don't be shy.
You have some wheel spins available.
Come on in.
Hello guys, this is the XPR podcast presented by Hudech Gaming. I am your host, Stephen Hudech, aka XPR Roadrunner, alongside XPR Soundwave, XPR Venom, XPR Darkside, XPR Devil. So, just a quick introduction. Basically, we are doing a monthly podcast similar to Toy Radio and other established stuff, so we decided we were going to get on the fun. Basically, we're just going to talk about the happenings in virtual racing, real-world racing, and just general shenanigans and whatnot. So, let's introduce everyone to their real names. So, XPR Soundwave is Mr. Robert Lee Burley. XPR Venom is Mr. Chad McGinley. XPR Darkside is Robert Thomas, aka Trebs, and XPR Devil, last but not least, is Mr. Dino Cox. So, we're on our way. So, first things first, we're going to talk about 2014 as a whole. Do a little review. So, Rob, you want to kick us off?
Well, yeah, where do we start for the first of the year? Didn't we conclude the Viper Cup? Yeah, that was a good one. That's more Steven's thing there. Steven, why don't you?
All right. So, Viper Cup then. That was a championship that we kicked off over at Xbox Pro League Racing. It was the first sort of real championship on Forza 5 that we hosted. Basically, it was the Viper GT-SR. I think we kicked it to I think it was like stock build, was it? When we could tune? Yeah. And our partners over at SRT Motorsports were glad to give us a little prize pack, which was some goodies, a book, and whatnot. That was basically done by a draw, so people making a race, winning both the race and pole and the lobbies and whatnot, all got tickets, and then it was a random draw at the end, and our very own XPR Extremist won the prize pack. And got it in the mail. I was very happy. So that was the first thing we did. What was the next stuff that we did? I know Dino, you and I, and teamed up to do the XPR, or say not the XPR, the Tora Mighty Minis. I'm not sure if that carried over into 2014. I think it did, just barely.
Yeah, I think it ended in January.
That was fun. That was interesting, to say the least.
Those minutes were rough.
Yes, they were definitely. But and that was like before all the updates to the game, because we had a lot of issues with Forza at the beginning, in terms of not being able to save replays first and foremost. Yeah, and that well, it still does that, but not as badly as it used to.
Wasn't the first few reroutes were split too? We had a lot of guys on the 360.
Yeah, at this point we still had a lot on the 360. That's very true. So we had with the US GT Championship, I think that's
what it was. Yeah. We did the US GT Championship. That's when we unveiled the TXPR thing. With me and good old XPR Gillard Lewis Tyler, I think. That was a good few races we went into the
yes.
Unfortunately, we didn't finish the series, but I know we would have been up there in contention had we done so.
Then we had what was it? Well, Formula Forza finally kicked off their Premier Series, or a new Premier Series, moving on from the R1 Championship in Forza Motorsport 4 to the FF1 Championship, which utilized the brand new Lotus E21 Formula 1 machine in Forza 5. That was more or less a tester series. That was right after some of the key updates came out, with like replays for online lobbies and a few other things. And it went off pretty well. I was initially planning on running that series, but real life unfortunately got in the way and couldn't run it. And then we had some more series as well. We had the NATCC/TCC. Oh yes, that was Le Mans as well. How'd we finish in that one again?
With Le Mans, oh man, we were looking really good for same time as we all never fails. Just like the years before, we're always up front. We're leading it or battling to the lead as far as things of distance, and the next thing we know, connection issues just like everybody else. Really kind of did us in off of that. But I think this year was probably our strongest chance. We had it with the limited competition. Not all the big teams that showed up. So it was still really tight racing, really close racing, but it wasn't, I wouldn't say as premier as it would have been in years past. But yeah, once again, we're up front, and connection issues, well, take it as you wish, mechanical failures, whatever it is.
I felt that, I think this might have been just me, but I think like the Forza 4 servers kind of were on a decline in terms of quality. That's why I switched over to FM5 like immediately. I don't know what else did happen. We have
the TCC.
well, the test season.
No, on Forza.
On the beginning of the year. On Forza 4.
Season 9 and Season 10 on Forza 4.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, seriously.
Season 4 and the NATCC, XPR ended up sweeping.
And the teams.
With myself in first, Camera King finished second, and Jay Van Essen finished
Yes,
third.
we seem to do very well in that series. We own it, essentially. Then we had the Pro Endurance. Do you want to talk about that? Because you were the only one, I think, that did that. Or did you? No, you teamed up with Wumba.
Yeah, I teamed up with BG Wumba
Yeah.
and BG Smithy. Neither of them ended up doing it on my own, so I don't think I ended up finishing the series.
But that was like the first sort of endurance racing event on Forza 5, and everyone was iffy about how that was going to work out because there wasn't any like markers or anything like that like Forza 4 had. But I guess it turned out okay because because later down on the road, Tor was able to host the 24 hours of the Nürburgring for their VLN event, which it seemed like it was a really good success. Unfortunately, we weren't able to make an entry into that. Real life got in the way again. But what else did we do? Oh yeah, we had GT season was it 12?
12.
Production GT? Is that season 11 or is that season 12?
That was in the beginning. That's right. Yeah, there was a production GT season 12, or production GT season, which was in the beginning of the year. Dino started that one off, and we finally got in going with the Vipers, running the production 2013 models. Didn't we come away with? Yeah, didn't we come away with?
I believe.
You almost won the championship.
Let's check here.
Yeah, I was in a fight for the. Eagle-Eye.
Oh yeah. I'm loading up the standings right now. Yes, it was Eagle-Eye first and Dino second by 90 points. It looks like was the result in the end.
Once again, congrats on Dino. That was a really strong finish.
Yeah, and then only like 56 points between Virtual SFT Motorsports Team 2 and Screw the Pooch Racing, in which we finished second. So really close down all the way to the end. Let's see here. We have, and then of course we just finished the Tour season 12 of GT, which was the last series that we were able to run with Virtual SVT Motorsports. Of course, a lot of you that are in the know are aware that SVT Motorsports closed down immediately after winning the GTLM Championship and the Tudor United Sports Car Championship, which essentially meant an end to the virtual side of the team, which was unfortunate. But oh well, that such is life and business and whatnot. It was completely out of our control. I was able to meet the former CEO of SVT Motorsports, Ralph Gill, on a couple of occasions over the last couple of years, which was really awesome. Yeah, apparently Mopar is taking over all the racing. I think the only thing that they're taking over at this point is the Trans Am TA2 teams. Cameron Lawrence was able to win the championship for them, being SRT this past season. We'll see how that turns out next year. Speaking of real world racing, let's get on to Lewis and Rui. We'll start off with Lewis first. Lewis was able to do a few races in his karting, the series that he runs down in Florida. He's looking for funding.
By the way, let's go ahead and say
Yes.
good job on that one. I know a lot of that guys next door did pitch in, so we actually did a full team effort in a sense. That was all the XPR guys that helped out for that, and to Lewis, probably job on that one.
But yeah, he's looking for funding for next season. Trying to run the Ford Spec Racer over in the SCCA Regional Series. He needs some new equipment. He needs a new helmet. And I think a fire suit as well. And then I think he just needs some extra funding in the meantime. But so that was Lewis, XPR Gillard. Now let's get on to Rui, XPR Rooster, who ran in a Lombardi Honda Fit B-Spec class car in the Canadian Touring Car Championship over the summer. Which I was a part of the race team itself, which was a really awesome experience, running as his race engineer, essentially. Very low budget racing, relatively speaking, and we finished second in the championship, which was like a lot better than we were expecting for sure, because that was his rookie year, and we were able to win a race, which was like, to this day, it's like the most like awesome thing. But so we got nabbed for it was a false start at the beginning of race 2 in Montreal. That was the Formula 1 weekend, and which was complete nonsense, we thought, because I called the start perfect, but there was a little bit of tomfoolery going around, and we got nabbed for a full start. So we lost a few points, like 50 points or something. But then for the first race in Trois-Rivières, which was the one and only night race on the calendar, Rui went from, I think it was 5th or 6th on the grid to first and ended up winning, and they had race ended under caution because one of the other B-Spec competitors took out another B-Spec competitor behind us, and it was a really heavy crash, and the safety car to come out with like 3 minutes left in the race. And I was really worried that we were going to get nabbed for something stupid, but in the end we didn't, and Rui took home the trophy, first place, with a brand new watch as well. So I was saying to Rui, like, when he came back from podium celebration and doing all the interviews and whatnot, I was like, man, if we were going to win one race this season, this had to be it. Again, Rui is looking for funding next year. and unfortunately the B-Spec class is going away in CDCC, so we're looking elsewhere. And I'll put a link into the description if you're watching on YouTube. Eventually we're going to put this stream, which is on Twitch, over onto our YouTube channel, and we'll let you know how you can support both our guys, Lewis and Drury. So now with sort of that. Oh, totally forgot about the Formula Forza Formula E Championship. Trevor, you want to talk about that for a bit, since it was me and you taking on the world?
Well, are you sure it was really us taking on the world, or was it the world against us?
Yeah, we kind of did.
Anyway, Formula E had announced back over the summer that they were doing a Formula E series. That was run by Techline Racing. And XPR had posted that they needed more drivers, so I hit them up and I was like, hey, I'll be your driver. And that's kind of how this all started. I believe me and Steven won, I want to say what, 5 of the 9 races?
If you count the ones where they had the multi-lobby thing, the split lobby at the beginning, basically how it worked for the first few races was you qualify, and then the odds would be put into one lobby, and the evens would be put into another lobby, but you were competing essentially for 2 wins, so you had one lobby would win one race, get points for first place, and then another lobby would have a winner, and they would also get points for first place.
Essentially what he's trying to say is there would be 2 winners, 2 second place, and 2 third place.
Yes. So they did that for the first, was it first 2-3 races, and then it just wasn't quite working out the way that they had planned, so then they went back to the traditional single lobby format, in which...
Yeah, well, what had happened was, he was, the host of the series, whose name I won't reveal, obviously. He kept switching out everybody's positions, you know, whether if you'd be in, oh hey, you're in lobby A for this race, and then he come back to, oh no, you're in lobby B, come back to lobby A, lobby B, B, A, B, and he was constantly switching people. So he was constantly causing connections to go stupid, you know, the servers were going wonky because of it. And in fact, I believe it was one race, I think it was at Long Beach, but we didn't race at all because the connection just...
Yeah, I think the servers just in general were, they decided to be a pain. So basically for that race they just took the qualifying results as the race results as well. And that was the double points weekend as well, since it was the one and only race on the actual Formula E calendar that is in the game. So it's actually really funny. That one race prevented me from winning the Drivers' Championship overall. If me and the championship winner had switched places for Long Beach, I would have won just by like a bare little bit. Yeah, but it's funny how one position makes all the difference.
So then, after Long Beach, they decided for the rest of the series that they were going to do just single lobbies, and I believe we won every race. In the
almost every race except for the last one.
Yeah, because I won. Because I won Catalunya, and you won the next.
No, I won. It was I won Prague, and then you won Catalonia, then I won Road Atlanta, and then I want to say there was one more in between, no? Or was it just went right to Yaz?
No, it went right to Yaz because I remember it was 2 races and then 2 weeks off and then 2 races 2 weeks off for my yard. Because then I remember people were kind of complaining because it was Catalonia, Road Atlanta. And then 2 weeks off, and then Yaz Marina. Everyone wanted to do it just right in a row, and he said no, which made no sense.
Well, it was like a 2 week off week, 2 week off week kind of schedule, which was
different, I guess.
But
Yeah, Yeah, but at the same time, though, if you're going to do that, you should have even number of races, not an odd number of races, because then you had that whole thing where you had two races, one week off, and then you had the one race, which was in Yas Arena. But in the
Yeah.
end, it was a fun series. We locked up the team
Early.
championship.
Yeah, it was
Two races
something
together.
like that. We won by like
I think
300 plus points. It wasn't even close.
Yeah. He ended. Yes. We're
Second.
finishing second overall in the standings, and I
Because you missed the last race.
I was third for the longest time. Yeah, but I missed a few races, so I had I lost ground. But we both had good seasons. We both had multiple wins, multiple podiums. I think we established pretty early in the season that we were.
Especially because we missed all the testing. We sort of flew in under the radar, and then as soon as like the first couple races started, it was like, oh.
Yeah. I don't know where these guys came from.
Yeah.
They got speed.
Yeah, so that was everything that happened on Formula Forza. We didn't really do much of virtual motorsports this year. Although, didn't we do a Spec Cup somewhere? Was it Mustang?
Well, you had the, you still had the Pro GT, which was a good series. SRT ended up taking.
Oh, yes.
Barring we were able to fully commit to the series, I think we would have had the.
Sorry, you mean GT Season 12, not Pro GT. Yeah.
But yeah, I could have sworn it was a little bit Pro GT.
No, Pro GT was the endurance
I
thing.
think it was season 12. I don't think it was Pro GT. Yeah, Pro GT.
That's
but
right.
Pro GT
Which
was
we haven't
the
even got
endurance
into
thing.
yet.
Yeah. Then there
That
was
was
the
a good
failed
series.
project.
Good cars were close. Good competition, good racing all throughout.
Yeah,
Everybody
then
had a really good
Yeah.
on finishes.
Yeah. Then there was the failed project for VL.
Yeah.
But let's not go there.
So, anyways, then we had the Pro Spec Cup series, which we're still trying to get set back up. Which, if you guys are listening, Spec Cup series should be coming around the corner here soon. Just trying to hash out the car and tracks and whatnot. That'll be turned back up on Thursday nights again. Here the next month or so. So look for a new drop on that one. Spec 1 and 2 were great success. Everybody that did it loved it. It is what it is. Spec cars, and it's the North America time slot, so a lot of the North American drivers can get in. Some of the Aussie guys can get in it too. Just like you have the EU side of it. They got their thing going. They've had pretty good success. I know Dino has done some really good strong finishes racing in that series.
Codename Mothers, right, Dino?
Yeah. Well,
It's like Codename Mothers, right?
That's gotta be the best.
The Mazda Cup, yeah, that was super fun.
Yeah. The racing and that
Yep.
was amazing. So far,
And
everyone.
yeah. Hopefully they
yeah.
get that back.
Now with like all the Tour US championship getting started over there, so for the longest time like Tour was very Eurocentric. And now we finally got a American section coming up, which is basically North American centric.
It seems like Torah is really starting to cater to more of the North American guys. Especially over the last few months from what I've seen, because if you've noticed, we've been getting a lot more of the Pro Series. We've been getting more of, we've just been getting more recognition from Torah itself, because some things we'll go into in a little bit. I just, with leagues closing up, with, and with more guys coming over, with more people getting, in America at least, getting the Xbox One because of the price cuts over the last year or so, there seems to be a lot more American guys coming over to Torah, so I guess in a way they've had to cater themselves to the American population. Well, North America,
Yeah.
that is.
I think it will be a little bit more busy as well with a certain site shutting down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, it's going to get a lot busier as well with Project Cars coming out in the next month or so. I think Project Cars is due out
Yes.
today, actually.
March 17th. Yep.
But
20th
March,
for us.
Today is
Well, I just said tentatively. Watch it.
yeah,
Tentatively.
yeah.
Due out March 17th, because it was due out November 11th last year, and they didn't launch it for obvious reasons.
yep.
So it'll be interesting to see what Project Cars does.
Yeah,
For all
I think
the hype
everybody.
people have been giving it.
I think everybody that's been playing Forza for years is either they're sticking their teeth into it, or they're like most of us, and they're just kind of on the wait and see because we don't know. Nobody really knows what Project Cars is going to be like. Everybody's got their own version of the PC version, but nobody knows how the console is going to go.
And that's the thing that's really been concerning me over the last couple of days is the fact that they have not announced anything what they're doing, at all for the console versions, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 version. They seem to be catering a lot to the PC version because they're releasing builds for the PC that the beta testers can try out. If you tried it out, you're getting a cut of the pre-order money. And the question continues to be what's in it for the console people. We've gotten nothing over the last couple of days.
They've released, I think, just like a few videos from the Xbox One and the PS4 versions. I think. Well, there was the one page on their site that has clips from. I think it was the Xbox One version.
Yeah, that was the pre-demo back before when they announced the release date for November. They haven't really updated anything as far as there's some screenshots popping around. I don't know if it's PC screenshots, if it's I want to say PC because they're submitted by users, and they are stunning. I don't know if you guys have seen them via Tor's Facebook group page.
Yeah, they are.
They are. If they stick to what they say as far as the console is transposed just right from the PC, I think we're in for a stunning video game. Whether it delivers on all the experiences that we've been used to, we don't know.
The funny thing is, everybody's
we'll
complaining. Everyone's like complaining. A computer can. Back when they announced it for the 360, everyone's like, oh, there's no way they're gonna be able to do it for the 360 and the PS4 or the PS3, excuse me, because of the massive difference in hardware and frameware, or whatever, for the 360 and the PS3 computer. But now you have the PS4 and the Xbox One, which are basically built computers.
Right.
So technically, there should be absolutely a lot of play, and the PS4 shouldn't have like a direct PC to console version of Project Cars. But like Rob was saying, it remains to be seen what they do handling a physics wise, because they've been talking a great game for the last couple of years. That this is going to be iRacing for the consoles, R Factor 2 for the consoles, and it's been nothing. And what's really concerned a lot of people was because they've given us no beta.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised by that myself.
Why haven't the console people? Yeah, well, why haven't the console people got builds? For Project Cars, why can't we download it or whatever? But
yeah, I would.
I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that the game is something that the game is stupidly realistic, as in it's so realistic you really can't tell the difference. And then I've heard some people say that it feels like it's Need for Speed Shift 3. So I've heard favorable.
Yeah, I've sort of seen the same thing where some people are like it's too slidey, too grippy, and it's like, oh, everyone's like, oh, iRacing, all hail iRacing. It's like, well, that's fine, but like honestly, like Project Cars will have more cars. It probably will get more tracks than it currently has, but probably not as long. Sorry, not along the same lines as iRacing, because iRacing has a absolute crap ton of tracks, but they have like no cars.
I think iRacing has.
Yeah, but they have like 20 cars.
It's not if it's not over 100. Yeah, and that's the thing too. But you know what? I would rather have more track and less cars.
This is true.
More cars,
But even then, like it's
I
I mean, with so with
I mean, over time, ago, they cover everything that you need: NASCAR, sports cars, Indy cars, prototypes, spec racers, Star Mazda, Formula One.
this is very true.
And then they have practically every track you can think of in the world, and including mainly I mean they have a lot of ovals, obviously, like Daytona, Charlotte, Darlington, but they also have like Road America, Indy, Silverstone, new and old layout,
And Mosport and Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
Bathurst, Motorsport,
Yeah,
Montreal.
which I'm actually surprised that that we don't see those tracks in other games. To be quite honest, like specifically talking about Mosport and like Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, because outside of Formula One, for instance, like Montreal is like absent, except for iRacing. But
so continuing on with Project Cars in the future, we're looking forward to the Pro Endurance. We're still working on some background stuff. But I think drivers we're looking at myself.
I have it pre-ordered as well.
Do you know?
Actually, I've got
For
it.
the Pro Endurance or for?
You mean like on Project Cars?
No. For Taurus.
Oh, that. No, sorry.
Yeah.
That.
I know we talked about cars there. And then we also have the 12 hours.
Yeah, so over on Formula Forza, yeah, we have two teams going on with that. We're both in the GT1 category, right, racing the Aston Martin DBR9.
I think I might need to get me
Yeah, we're gonna. I think.
And the teams are
Give me details for that.
the teams are fair. It's Trevor,
Yeah.
Roadrunner, and X Overdrive, X99, X.
Yeah, Overdrive. Yeah. Yeah, Brandon. And then the second team right now is tentatively Rob, Steve, XPR Moontar, and Thomas, FMS Top Secret. But Thomas is sort of like iffy whether or not he can actually make it or not.
And so now we have, and then Chad's got his time
I've got the day off, so I'll be.
We're definitely looking at adding more
good on
times. So
Thursday.
as you just heard, there may be more of them coming in.
Okay, we interrupted the podcast. For
Sorry, no, I had my mic muted. It was okay. You guys heard that, but none of you guys did. I know you guys heard me. I'm saying the stream didn't hear me.
No, well, we just done this. Anyway, so after Pro Endurance, we have. What else we
Oh, we
have
currently
coming
have
up?
IndyCar. We
Yep. As our lovely streamers can see, I have my Pennzoil car in the home space right now. Everyone's enjoying it. But
yeah, the IndyCar series kicked off last night, and the
Yes.
But it was an overall success. We had 27 drivers show up last night, out of a possible 38 signed up. So
I think I got signed up 26, 27 people. And it was good,
Yeah,
good numbers for what it's been recently. Been pushing one lobby and that's it. So I think Tour US has kind of kicked the spark into some people. Hopefully we can get some UK events going on.
yeah, because this has been a series that a lot of people have been asking for, right? So the Indy cars, like ever since the game came out, everyone's like Indy. I think
Yeah, when the
Yeah.
Tour GP finished, that's
Yeah.
what everyone was calling for.
yeah, so now that we finally have the IndyCar series, everyone's happy. Especially because you know what now. We all have our our hands and our heads wrapped around how to tune the IndyCar, so we know how to tune out the oversteer, tune out the understeer, So it just when you have a good tuned car, against other people that have good tuned cars, the racing's just so much better. I mean, Long Beach last night, while it wasn't really what we'll call a wreck fest, it wasn't single file like the entire race either. We had like a lot of passing, a lot of contact for the most part.
So following IndyCar, we also have
we had some controversy last night, but let's not go there.
So following IndyCar, we have coming up one of our other XPR own guys, Moon Power, Steve Colgate's got a series going on, Taurus Superstock, which is based off the Continental Series.
Yeah, the Continental Tire
Yeah,
Sports
no,
Car
yeah,
Series,
Continental Tire.
the IMSA sanction.
And that one's really starting to gain some traction, so if you guys are listening, definitely go check it out. Sign-ups are still open. There is car caps, so be mindful what you're picking, but there's still plenty to choose from, and plenty of good cars, close cars. I know the guys behind the scenes work really hard, and so far everything's been within spot on. I mean, they're competitively close. So it is.
Yeah, there
yours
really
for
isn't
the
like
taking.
one car. Yeah, there really isn't like one car that sticks out like that's the dominant car. You know, some cars are faster in a straight line, other cars will beat you through corners. The racing should, you know, be close and should be fun. You know, and plus it's always fun. It's always fun when it's a multiplayer series because you race against your guys, and that, but then you gotta be mindful of there are other slower cars that are going to need to brake earlier. Won't have the speed out of the corner like you will, so it's going to test people's patience.
Yeah.
And then to end that series, you'll have the 6 hours of
Yeah.
Sebring, right?
Yes, at the very end of the race.
It's the 6th race. It's going to be on a Sunday, I believe, isn't it?
That Saturday, I believe it's Saturday or Sunday, yes.
Saturday or Sunday.
That's towards the end of the season. The calendar is up. Check it out real quick.
So for that one, it's really cool. I like how they did this, how the guys put it together. So that even alone is a standalone event. So if you guys are listening and you don't feel like you're going to do the full 6 races, you just want to do 12 hours, you can legitimately just sign up for the 12 hour. There might be a secondary prize up for grabs just in the 12-hour standalone event itself. Obviously, you got Project Cards is up for grabs just from the main championship, but those are named the 6 hours. There might be some incentive for you there. Definitely looking forward to that one. That's going to be a big deal for guys around the table.
And the Sebring race is on a Sunday. March 1st will be the day.
March 1st.
Yeah, so
Speaking of, since we're on the discussion of Project Cars here, you know, I mean, I don't know if we're just going to get any more of this tonight or whatever, but if we don't have to pay, what is XPR's plan for Project Cars?
That's actually a great question. I'm glad you bring that up, Rob. So I think right now we're pulling the whole wait and see thing again, just like we did last year. I know a lot of the guys already have it on pre-order. Some guys don't, like myself. Chad has it on pre-order.
I've had mine since the summer.
And I think we're going to ride it with everybody else that's going to do it, including the Taurus Series and other championships, other teams. I think we're going to have guys get in. They're going to test it out. They're going to feel it out. And, you know, the series will come up. The guys will sign up for them, see how everything plays out. I don't think we're going to probably 100% fully commit to it just because we don't know what it's going to, what it has, what it doesn't have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
I think what the plus side to it is on the same console, unlike the slash that we have between 360 and Xbox One guys. So guys that have the Xbox One are already on Forza 5. We still have Forza 5 stuff going that we'll be helping out with and working with.
Yep.
And then whatever comes out with Project Cars that guys run, I'm pretty sure that we'll have guys doing that. And I mean, if Project Cars doesn't stand tall, I mean, there's still Forza 5, and I know a lot of us are really starting to kind of enjoy it again. Now that everybody else is starting to get back into it, ever since the whole kind of fallout thing there that was, it is kind of starting to grow back into it. The numbers are starting to come back up, the competition's starting to come back up, and definitely the big name drivers that we're used to seeing are definitely starting to pop back up. And I don't know if it's because of Project Cars is coming around, or is it just because everybody's decided to come back together and maybe take that break, whatever it is, however it works out.
I think what it was,
we're all looking forward to it, whether it's Project Cars or not. But yeah, that's our plan. Again, just to wait and see. Nothing really set in stone, but we're definitely looking forward to it. We're excited for it.
Yep.
We just hope, hopefully it brings back everything that we've thrown in the love here, as far as online racing.
Yeah, I agree. Because I remember seeing back on, I think it was on Pura, when they announced that they were going to push forth on the Project Cars, I believe they were saying, and they had like all these races planned out, like, you know, well, the end of January, beginning of February, we're going to be doing the 24 hours of Daytona, then we're going to be doing Le Mans and Sebring, and then Bathurst, and then Spa, Silverstone, we're gonna be doing like a 36 hour of a drag race. They're like all this stuff planned out, and then Project Cars is like, we're delayed.
Well, that was the problem with announcing early.
And that kind of put everybody, but that put everybody, in my opinion, that was had planned to switch over to Project Cars behind.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tora went rather ambitiously and said that we were going to be doing, I think they said endurance, GT, and I think like some sort of open wheel something or other. What was that?
Touring cars.
I don't think they said touring cars was going to be switching over to Project Cars as of yet, because I think there's only like what, one or two touring cars, and they're like from like the early '90s. But
Yeah, there's a limited selection for touring cars, so they weren't going to push that. The only thing they switched for was the GT to switch over, and the ISCC will hopefully stand back
Yeah.
on Project Cars, pending everything fits the way it used to be, or as however it works, it's able to be reintroduced.
The only thing that I honestly agree with is them switching the GT to the
Yeah.
Project Cars. Just because you have so many more options over on Project Cars. You have the Z4, the Z12 Vantage, the Bentley, the McLaren, Mercedes, the Jannetta.
Yeah, they
just going to be interested until Project Cars.
I just, I mean, and Project Cars, in my opinion, is glaring. Is missing 3 or 4 very big names.
Ferrari.
And not just in like a little, not just a little capacity, but also, okay, 5 names, okay, 5. Excuse me. They're missing like 5 mass production, great racing names in the past. They're missing Ferrari. They're missing Porsche, and don't say rough either. That's not Porsche. We have Dodge is missing completely.
Yes, it's true.
I think there's only 1 or 2 Fords in the entire game, and then there's no Chevrolet. Like, they're missing 5 of the biggest marques.
Well, Nissan too, right? Nissan
is rumored to be in the works. There's
Well,
rumors.
Nissan,
GT3,
has
the GTR is under is well. That's the thing. So if you look at their list, the unofficial list, you'll see the Nissan GT3 GTR is unconfirmed. Now that means it's being added in, or they're still tweaking on the licensing. In other words, it's coming. So at least you can have that to look for. As far as like there's a 370Z, there's a couple of classic IMSA GT 240SX, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
91, something like that was on the list. So there's it's coming. I don't know if it's already been officially licensed. They're just finishing up the touch on the cars, or they're still working on the license. But for that being on the list, it's there. So
And another one actually that
and maybe like you're saying with the LMP1 program, which
Actually,
we're all looking forward to. Nissan. Maybe that's under wraps too. We won't know anything for sure until Nissan reveals that on Super Bowl weekend, I believe.
yeah, that's the for the GTR LM P1.
Yeah.
My only thing is, like I said, I mean, I can understand not having Ford and not having Chevy, because this is technically being a UK. This is being made by UK-based people. So obviously, they may slide over some American brands, kind of like how Forza, like, pounds this game with Ford and Sims. I think Ford and Chevy and Forza at least are like the 2 highest car number wise in the entire game. I think they're like in total like 54 cars for Ford and Chevy out of like
90-ish.
230 cars.
Well, with the DLC included, it's like 290.
Yeah, with the DLC. My only major issue is, Ferrari and Porsche. They're arguably the 2 biggest names in racing and probably in automotive in the world, yet they're nowhere to be seen. Now, I know EA has a license to Porsche for video game,
And notoriously don't give it to anybody.
and they're just, they don't give it to anybody. which kind of shocked me because Black Box Studio or whoever
Mad
was making
Mad Max Studios or something.
isn't it Slightly Mad or whatever?
Slightly Mad Studios, that's the one.
And
Yeah.
distributed by Trend Info.
Yeah, but the thing is, like I was saying, Slightly Mad Studios and EA have a great relationship because Slightly Mad Studios did the project, Need for Speed Shift series, which, by the way, were not so great games, not gonna lie. So you would think that they would get Porsche. And then Ferrari, it really makes you wonder.
EA, sorry, Microsoft owns the licensing to Ferrari. So
True, but still, don't you think they want to push Ferrari because it is
no, I have.
Plus, Ferrari always said, oh, our cars will never be in like street racing games because it gives our product a bad rep. They said that back to the old Need for Speed games, and here they are. I think the F12 wasn't that the cover car of Rivals?
Yes, that is correct. It was like that, and I think it was on a Porsche as well on the cover.
Yeah. So it makes you wonder where like people's loyalty and where people's company standards lie because if you say, we're never, street racing gives our company a bad rep and people do stupid things when they street race, and then you're entering a street racing game, Need for Speed, but yet you won't give Slightly Mad Studios your licensing agreement to be in an actual racing game. But like you said, EA, Microsoft, plus I'm sure Ferrari and Porsche themselves would have said no. But that's just a few glaring omissions that I see from Project Cars is that you have 4 or 5 very big brands missing.
Yeah. Well, again,
What about Honda? Is Honda in there?
Do we have any?
And that's another huge manufacturer that's not in there then.
But we'll save all. Yeah.
Well,
But I think it's something we'll have to discuss on another one. 'Cause, we definitely.
Yeah, we got about 10 minutes left.
So, do we have any closing remarks? Anything closing that you guys want to go over? Besides Project Cars, what else? Anything you guys are looking forward to this year?
I'm looking forward to November.
Gino, do you have anything?
I believe it or not, Forza 6.
Oh yes, just announced this week at the Detroit Auto Show, which I will be at next week. But yeah, Ford GT on the cover.
Fingers crossed for weather.
So we'll get some information on that one next time.
Yeah, we'll get some information on that. Plus, there's been rumors that Chip Ganassi Racing is going to be the GT11 team for the Ford in 2016.
Yeah, next year. But there's also rumors that they might do the last couple of rounds, just sort of shake down the car in competitive settings.
Yeah, well, yeah, I heard it be Road Atlanta, Road Atlanta, Motorsport, and Road America. They do.
Well, something we'll be looking forward to.
But all remains to be seen. Let's see what else here.
Chad, what do you got? You got anything to look forward to?
I'm looking for all those series and stuff with Project Cars coming out. Hopefully that game turns out to be good.
No Madden 16.
No,
Speaking of football,
that's really it.
Speaking of football, who does everybody got for winning the Super Bowl?
Alright, I don't know who's going to win Super Bowl.
Anybody
American
got the
football. I'm gonna go with.
I
I'm
got
gonna say
Seattle.
Colts and Green Bay. I don't think it's gonna happen, but between those two, Super Bowl. That's my two
Bowl
picks.
prediction from XPR Saturday. Dark side, I'm with Venom here. I think it's gonna be the Seahawks.
I'm
And
against
they're gonna
anybody but Seahawks.
I'm gonna refrain from answering.
It's gonna be the Seahawks defeating the Patriots. I'll say 23-10.
Oh, alright. I dig it.
Throwing it out there.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think Seattle is just it's the ungodly team. They have a good offense and they have the best defense in football. So it's no one can match them man to man.
Sure.
This is
In
true.
my
Okay.
opinion.
I have no idea what's going on. Anyways.
All right.
Um, but okay, so apart from like let's talk about real quick about racing in general next year, like real racing. So we have Tudor coming up, and then like what the Rolex is next weekend, isn't it?
It is.
Oh,
Next
it's
weekend,
next week?
25th.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then it'll be interesting to see because with
The week after.
with
The 500 the week
SRT pulling out of Tudor, it's left this like giant hole in GTLM. But what I think I like a lot at the Rolex this year is you have, I think there's something Brazilian team with the Ferrari, and unlike last year, Falcon is making the debut, the season debut, and then there was one other Ferrari. That's not like a regular. Was it? It wasn't. Yes, that one. Yeah, of course. So it'll be interesting to see. The car count should be up for the NAC events, but for the full time, it's going to be down to.
53 cars
What was that?
so far. I think they said they have 53 entries
Yes.
so far for the
Yeah.
24 at Daytona.
That's impressive.
Which is actually down from last year. I think last year that's so far. But you know, like Steven said, you know, there's that one big Glen of the mission with SRT Motorsports being out. What team? The number, I think it was number 555 Ferrari from last year. They sold everything as yes, because yeah, the owner's in like so much.
Yeah, he's a bit in hot water.
Whatever. Like, he's in trouble. Yeah, he's in a bit of hot water.
And then I think the prototype counts were down as well. PC's down, I think, a few entries. I think out of those classes, I think they're down the most. It was looking like.
And what do you expect? You know, freaking Corvette, the Daytona prototype Corvette is the new C7 body, and it looks absolutely disgustingly horrible.
I never liked the look of the Corvette to begin with, aside from my allegiances to Mopar. But anyways,
which, by the way, I got
Oh,
a
nice.
car yesterday.
What else? So we have Ferrari World Challenge as well. Is getting like. Oh man.
I'm looking forward to. I'll be attending Barber
So much
Motorsports,
traction.
and
I think I'm gonna try to get them when they come up to Mosport because it's gonna be all the classes this year instead of just the touring.
WEC starts.
Oh yes.
WEC Formula One. I think WEC starts a week after Formula One, which I don't know if anybody noticed or not, but has anybody else realized that WEC has slowly overtaken Formula One as the most watched spectator?
I think I keep reading articles where it's like the WEC is sort of the go-to series for manufacturers because you have Audi, Porsche, Toyota, Nissan alone in LMP1. Then you have the GTLM category, so you got Ferrari, Porsche again, Aston Martin, which they've been like really the only three that have done like perennially. With Ford coming in, Corvette for Le Mans, BMW I think is also confirmed for Le Mans this year.
I know at the end of last season for Formula One, there was talk of the VW Audi group entering a team because of the
Which they keep emphatically denying,
Yeah, but they put the plug on
if it
that.
happened.
which I'm not sure about that.
Oh, speaking of which, before we leave, what about the rumors of Lamborghini entering LMP1 next year?
That would be interesting. I we'll have to see what goes on with.
Imagine what that LMP car won't. Imagine what that would look like.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to see what goes on with Audi.
That would look scary looking. Well, actually, there've been rumors that the LMP1 team for Audi would just become the Lamborghini team. But still, though, I know everybody always jokes like Lamborghinis are always outlandish and they have like spacers and like laser guns on them and everything. I think if Lamborghini were to do an LMP1 car, I think they would have machine guns on it.
Yeah.
It's Lamborghini.
We would have.
Plus, there's always the rumor of Ferrari. They're leaving GTLM and GTE to go to LMP1, but there's been no.
Well, I don't know about that because although granted this was Montezemolo, who's no longer with the company anymore. I think it was like last year's address was saying that he wanted to see Ferrari, or at least they were considering it in WEC. So I think with Ferrari, I think there's more chance of Ferrari entering within the next few years than Lamborghini does, because I think either Audi or Porsche would have to drop their LMP1 entries for them to come in, or Lamborghini will enter in as a factory LMP2 team and then make their way up to LMP1 at a later date. I think that's probably, and then.
I could see that. Well, there's also been the glaring rumor that Corvette has been contemplating running more WEC races. Well, but that's been discussed for ever since the Lone Star Le Mans race. And it was really right around the time when, I guess, the inner skunkworks of SRT were considering pulling out on SRT already. So I would love to see if Corvette went over there, because that would give the American flair to WEC.
Well, you already have ESM's over in WEC. ESM's running WEC and the North American Endurance.
The full tutor.
Yeah, but the thing is, though,
The full
Corvette
tutor.
racing,
They're just doing both endurance.
Yeah, but when you
it's
run,
still an American team.
yeah, but when you run Corvette
Florida.
racing, you know,
Yeah.
you've won everything, and you could possibly win in the two United Sports Car Series / American Le Mans Series. Yeah, where do you go from here?
Yeah.
We'll see.
I still say
What?
they're going. I still say the moment they win the GTLM manufacturer championship, maybe even drivers, I say even this year, they're going to leave and go to WEC, because then they would have literally
Yeah.
everything.
Well, you heard it here, folks. At the end of the year, we'll check back with you guys and see if Corvette's going to go WEC. But on that, it's time that we wrap this up. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next one. The next one we'll get you a closer date. We're going to try to do every third Saturday.
Yeah, around around this
Along those lines.
date.
We're on, brother. So stay tuned. Keep your eyes and ears closed. If you guys enjoyed it, let us know. Give us some feedback.
Yep. So.
Have a nice one. Signing off, guys.
Well, since he's still alive.
Yeah. So we're gonna be putting this onto YouTube. Probably today or tomorrow, for those who missed parts of the stream, and I think that's about it. So thank you guys for watching the very first XPR podcast presented by Hudech Gaming, and we'll catch you guys later next month. Look out for us. We'll be posting announcements on Twitter and Facebook and whatnot. All those links will be put in the description on the YouTube account. So, alright, this has been a pleasure. We'll catch you guys later.
Alright, adios, guys.
Later,
Later,
guys.
guys.